How you doing, guys? Chad here. Another beautiful day on the farm. It's incredible. Can't believe that it's this warm and hot, but we're going to make it a little hotter here on the farm today, and we're going to make some all-natural biochar the C.W. Smith way. Biochar is basically charcoal, and it's got to be from some type of biomass. Usually wood is the material used, and that's why it's called biochar, biocharcoal. You know what I'm saying, man? There are some experts and professionals on YouTube that say you got to burn biomass in an oxygen-free environment like a steel drum or a pit or something. Well, I'm honestly not that scientific, and I'm a believer that charcoal is charcoal. As long as you quench it in time before it becomes ash, you're not going to have an issue. I just figure I'll dig a little bit of a hole right here. It's not really that deep. It's just so that it can get smothered easily and maybe use a little less oxygen, although it's not an oxygen-free environment. And I want to burn the pile from the top down rather than starting the pile from the very bottom of all the brush. And I don't need to overcomplicate things. I'm just looking for a quick and easy way to help amend our compost pile. I mean, if you take a look at charcoal under a microscope, it's got tiny little porous holes all throughout, and it's perfect for absorbing bacteria and nutrients. Adding some kind of biochar or charcoal to your soil will help amend it, help add nutrients, help absorb and retain the nutrients in the soil, and allow for beneficial bacteria to thrive. And I'm doing this for the first time, guys. I kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm definitely not trying to teach you what to do. This is just my method. It's hot today. Gotta make sure I have the hose ready. Has a fire extinguisher in case things get a little wild. I'm just using a torch to make my life easier. I know some outdoorsy guys are going to say you're supposed to start a fire from the bottom, but in this case we want to start it from the top because we don't want the bottom to get too hot too fast before the top pyrolyzes. How about that, guys? Pyrolyzes, which is not like combustion or burning the matter down to a fine ash. You don't want that. You want it to just be quarter-inch in size maybe, and you can crumble it up, but it's still not an exact science. It's all going to end up charcoal anyhow. I'm literally just using a bunch of scrap woods. We do a lot of firewood here on the farm, and this is not wood that's good enough for firewood. Like this kind of stuff, you see, it's pretty lightweight actually, and that's what you want when you're doing a biochar burn, because you don't want big, thick, hard oak pieces that'll take too long to burn, because all the light stuff will already be ready to quench, and the big stuff won't be ready to quench at all. Now we just wait and watch it burn. You definitely don't want to burn it down to a fine ash, and once you're satisfied with the size of the charcoal, then you want to quench it or, stop the burn. So you have to basically water it down, and that'll cool it down very quickly, and it'll be large chunks of charcoal. And then once it cools down, you're able to crumble it up a little bit and crush it and make, 1/4 inch size bits. Now the one kind of wood that I don't put in here is pressure treated, and that's really just because I don't want to be burning up all those chemicals and putting it in my compost pile. It's all just natural woods and some spruce lumber bits. I'm just keeping the area around my burn pile a little wet because I really want to keep the fire under control and not have any accidents. Now, because this little burn here was not in a zero oxygen environment, there are some bigger pieces that hadn't yet carbonized. So I still wanted to quench it with the water to cool it down because some of the smaller bits were already at the right size. So what I'll do is just separate some of these bigger pieces and reignite the fire afterwards. You got to quench it real good. You might need to water it a bunch of times to get it to stop burning. And once you've quenched it and you're satisfied that it's cooled down enough, you can actually just crush it. There's many different ways you can crush it. Some people put it in a feed bag and, tramp it with a tamper. I'm just using a shovel and I'm not real scientific about it. It'll do what I want it to do. You'll notice how I have this little fire going. These are all the big pieces from my big pile, and I've kept it over here, and I've kept the fire going because it's still smoking hot. I'm going to clear all this out of here and put it over there. That's where I'm going to activate all of these charcoals, and then I can put that back in there and get another fire going because I have that big pile to go through today. A lot of biochar to make. After it's cooled down and ready to inoculate or to activate, we need to add some kind of medium, you know, like a natural bio medium like compost or some kind of urine, manure, worm castings, things like that. And what you do is you just mix it all together really, and there you have it. After a few months, it's going to just really help your soil. I'm going to be using pig manure and chicken manure because we have an abundance of those. I'm going to add some rabbit manure in there just for good measure. It's really going to put the bio into this char. Bobby! Bobby! How are you, bud? Look at that glorious, moist pig poop. Just going to mix in this lovely, powerful pig manure. And I got some chicken manure here and some rabbit turds to blend in along with all the straw, and I'll mix it in. I mean, just give it some time to do its magic. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can. This biochar is going to be amazing, I'm sure of it. Give it a couple months and it's going to be fully inoculated and activated and really enrich our black earth here in the compost pile. And if you can continue watching another episode for us, please. Here's a recap summary of the building of our massive garden from start to finish, and you'll see the transformation that's going on in there. Thanks for watching.